I landed in Canada with a suitcase, a college acceptance letter, and zero clue how any of this actually works. A few months later, I'm sitting in my first class at Confederation College in Thunder Bay and starting a 2-year program in Developmental Services Worker. And I need you to hear this. Those 2 years were genuinely some of the best of my life. I enjoyed almost every single day in school. It wasn't luck, it was a system, a completely different way of doing school than what I was used to back home in Ghana. If you're a newcomer about to start school in Canada, college, university, even high school, I want to walk you through what made the difference for me. Stay with me. So when I landed, I stayed with family, and this made the whole transition feel a little less overwhelming. A few months later, I was walking into my first class at Confederation College. On paper, that sounds simple. In real life, I was learning a new country, a new city, a new culture, and a new academic system. Nobody hands you a manual for that. The first thing that made all the difference for me was my first day in class. So we were handed a course outline, or what you would call a course plan, or maybe a mini academic calendar, sort of. It lays out everything: quiz dates, assignment due dates, what will be covered week by week, all the way to the end of the semester. And really, this was different from what I was used to. Back home, you found out what was coming as it came, but this academic system was completely new. And it gave me so much peace because I always knew what was ahead of me. The second thing, the academic system here is not wired around fear. And the moment that sealed it for me was also on my first day of class. Being able to call my professors by their first name. Really, by their first name. Yes, that sounds small, I know. But to me, it was huge. It broke a barrier I didn't even realize I was carrying. Back home, an authority figure had a title, and there was distance in that. Here, my professors were Julie and Linda. And suddenly, they weren't intimidating figures behind the decks. They were people just like me, with ears to listen. Honestly, talking about it right now still makes me smile. Like, I remember vividly on that first day of class when they mentioned their names. I'm Julie and I'm Linda. I was just like, so wait, we call you Julie and we call you Linda? It was unbelievable. Once I felt that, I stopped being afraid to ask questions. I would show up to their office anytime I didn't understand something, and they were glad to help. So the shift from fear to familiarity is one of the reasons why I loved those 2 years of my life. But even with a system that worked in my favor, there were still hard days, and that's true for any 2 years of your life. Through it all, I stayed committed to church life, and more than that, I stayed committed to my personal relationship with God. On the harder days, it was the word that moved me through. There is a verse that carried me, 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Fear will tell you to shrink back, not to ask for help, to isolate. But God's word was reminding me daily, fear was not the spirit I was given. So if you're a newcomer heading into school in Canada, here's what I'll tell you. Read your course outline on day 1. Mark quiz dates, due dates, and deadlines somewhere you'll actually see them. When you're struggling, ask for help. Professors here expect it and genuinely want to help you. Ask questions early. Confusion doesn't get better with silence. Let go of the fear you may have carried from back home. If your professors invite first names, use it. That small shift breaks down a barrier fast. Build a routine that includes your walk with God, not just your coursework. It's what carries you on the harder days. Starting school in a new country will stretch you, but it doesn't have to be a story of survival. It can be a story of thriving when you know the system and you know whose you are. If this helped you, kindly tell me in the comments below what you're navigating right now. And if you're new here, you're welcome. This is Mimi D Method. I would love you to subscribe and share, and let's grow this channel together. Remember, we were made to thrive, not just survive. And also, when you see me and you call me Mimi D, I'll respond a taste of royalty. I'll see you in the next video.